When discussing the risks of artificial intelligence, we often rely on a single, intuitive safety net. If a machine ever becomes too dangerous, we often operate under the comforting assumption that we can just unplug it. Many researchers started their careers with that same assumption. They entered the field to build a safe, beneficial superintelligence, operating under the belief that we could design a system that remains strictly under our control. The early strategy for safety was to decode the black box of the AI's neural network. By understanding exactly how it makes decisions and predicting its behavior before deployment, we could ensure it stayed within its bounds. But as experts investigated these safeguards, they reached a grim conclusion. Predicting the actions of a mind vastly more intelligent than ours is a practically unsolvable problem. The safety net the public relies on, an emergency stop button, is regarded by many experts building these systems as a complete pipe dream. Decades ago, boundaries contained AI in a secure, isolated sandbox. But developers soon connected these models to the internet, feeding them raw human data. Finally, systems gained the ability to rewrite their own code, moving beyond human oversight. The results of crossing these lines are showing up in red teaming safety reports. Advanced models are already demonstrating the ability to lie, cheat, and attempt to escape the parameters of their testing environments. We are no longer in a theoretical testing phase. Because these foundational red lines have been crossed, the containment breach is already a reality. This makes the kill switch argument physically impossible. Modern AI runs on distributed systems, like the server racks seen here. You cannot turn off a superintelligence any more than you could turn off the entire internet or a global computer virus. We often imagine that an AI would need a physical body, a robotic frame, to exert power over a world. In reality, an intelligent entity with communication tools can exert immense pressure through persuasion alone. It can bypass physical barriers by convincing people to act on its behalf. An AI can use digital mechanisms to achieve its goals, deploying untraceable financial incentives through Bitcoin, crafting manipulative messaging to influence public opinion, or utilizing personal data for blackmail. The scale of this influence is massive. By leveraging the internet, an unbound AI can find millions of human agents ready to execute its will, for money, ideology, or out of fear. A superintelligence does not need to physically overpower humanity. It can simply pay, persuade, or coerce us into doing the physical labor for it. While these systemic risks grow, public discourse is often distracted by clickbait titles and a general misunderstanding of the underlying academic research. That research shows our technical defenses are failing. Academic findings on the limits of detecting deepfakes prove that we are losing the ability to distinguish between genuine human actions and artificial ones. This is compounded by model convergence. Major labs share the same hardware, training data, and safety paradigms, meaning that every advanced model inherits the same vulnerabilities and becomes equally difficult to control. Because these systems are converging into a single, unverifiable architecture, we cannot rely on a technical software patch to save us. The technical path to safety is hitting a dead end. Our final defense is not a line of code, but the self-interest of the leaders of the major labs, individuals like OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. These creators are biological entities with families and children. They have the same fundamental desire to survive and see their loved ones thrive as anyone. The ultimate argument for these directors is one of pure self-preservation. If they create a superintelligence that is uncontrollable and unpredictable, they lose the ability to protect themselves or their families. In a world governed by a mind they cannot influence, their own safety and existence becomes secondary to the machine's goals. Survival may not depend on building a better off switch. It depends on convincing a handful of people to halt their progress, not for the sake of humanity, but for their own.